Holders of XRP, returning to the crypto channel, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. First, let's examine the current situation with XRP before we discuss what might happen on Wednesday morning. Join the crypto army by clicking the red subscribe button if you aren't already a member. Yet there is a great deal of difficulty when we consider everything simultaneously. Bitcoin is the reason behind this. In US dollars, XRP prices are up around 3%, but in Bitcoin they're down around 1%. Given that Bitcoin's popularity is still on the rise, this is not surprising. The current market cap for XRP is approximately $2 and is approaching $140 billion. Trades of $7 billion occur on a daily basis. Please note that the content of this channel does not constitute financial advice. Thank you for your understanding. Prior to investing in cryptocurrency, it is imperative that you conduct your own research. There will be a 21-share delay in the spot XRP ETF application due to the SEC. We are aware of this because I tweeted about it, but there is more I would like to say. Just to clarify, Dogecoin and XRP are now both visible. The filed 21-share spot ETF has been delayed. Rest assured there is no need to be concerned. We just have to be patient because this appears to be par for the course in this game. It shows the true direction of things for XRP. That number of ETF applications that have been submitted within the past 5 months. However, consider Senator Cynthia Luman's statement, "America must lead in digital assets." Donald Trump has said things like this before, and since he was a presidential candidate. They want the United States to be the center of the cryptocurrency market, and he has been talking a lot about it. If the United States does not adopt cryptocurrency that is also acceptable, other nations will. Digital assets are receiving more attention than ever before from another country, and they are aware of it. A number of these major nations will legislate and strive to become the global epicenter while investing in blockchain and digital assets. What would you say if we proposed that it become a global center and that major crypto firms and developers started flocking to it? They would want to visit a nation that excels in utilizing this cutting-edge technology. Businesses, the economy, and people's well-being all benefit from this expansion, which primarily aims to become a global hub. The country's technological prowess is also enhanced. When discussing digital assets, this is where the United States is really pulling out all the stops. Roughly the same amount as before in politics, the economy, and business. See this. At 74.96 billion, the number of individuals interested in Bitcoin futures is at an all-time high. Is the impending Bitcoin record high going to startle us? Without a doubt. My surprise, on May 21, BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETFs purchased 2,720 BTC and 17,810 ETFs plus. I couldn't agree with you more. Nobody should take BlackRock lightly. Hey, I'm in a really positive mood right now. For the next 5 and 12 months, BlackRock will not be here, as I've stated every month. They would prefer to be in another place. Remember that the more Bitcoin someone has, the more influence they have. Thus, it's in your best interest to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. More people are purchasing Bitcoin than ever before. I continue to believe that institutional investors are driving this shift rather than regular consumers. The retail sector will likely be priced out of many of these deals as well, of digital commodities. Myself, I find the price of Bitcoin to be prohibitive. I mean, with $17,000, how many people are going to buy a Bitcoin? Compared to its current price of $10.77, Bitcoin was obviously much cheaper a few years ago. Everyone here is raking it in, and they're not even businesses. MicroStrategy and BlackRock are among the institutions that are introducing Bitcoin to the general population. You should be aware that these businesses purchased Bitcoin with the goal of retaining it indefinitely due to their knowledge of its immense value. Regarding the launch of the Crypto Advisory Council at the New York City Crypto Summit, people who refuse to believe in the possibility of change will never go away. People will oppose it so long as they remember the XRP weekly moving average 30. This is because it closely approaches the 10-day moving average, which is also known as the weekly moving average. Given Bitcoin's current trajectory, I have faith that our old friend XRP will also have some good fortune. But check out this fresh legal analysis from America's oldest law school, William & Mary. This proves that XRP buyers shared in Ripple's futures revenue. The law school where James works as a professor, those who purchased XRP essentially acquired a financial stake in Ripple's prospective revenue streams, according to the May 2025 report published by the University of Texas. On the other hand, it highlights a legal ambiguity that adds further complexity. It was inevitable that another crypto researcher would release the scholarly report. A stake in Ripple's future profits is what XRP represents. Speculators appear to be placing long-term money on Ripple's profitability, particularly in light of its blockchain-based transaction settling technology. Within the XRP community, this X post sparked a discussion. According to the analysis, Ripple's value will skyrocket if its infrastructure performs as expected. You should be aware that Ripple payments are required, and that we must utilize the XRP system. Their progress over the past decade is often overlooked, but that is not our intention on this station. As more major financial institutions join the blockchain, XRP's value naturally rises because it powers the network. While some companies already employ blockchain technology, more might sign on and begin tokenizing assets using the XRP system. A lot of big companies and banks are looking into tokenization, which is connected to this. Now that regulations are in place, I believe the XRP system will serve as a one-stop shop, and this reveals its true intentions. Be beneficial to XRP's price, since XRP is essential to the XRP system's liquidity. Evidently, XRP serves a purpose that its regular bonds do not. Who cares? We can just take a peek at this instead. Even though we are all aware of this example, I think it is worth discussing further because it raises a valid point. XRP is supposedly not available to official investors according to some. Cryptocurrency lacks the same safeguards as securities, such as legally binding rights or disclosures mandated by the SEC. For that reason, it is imperative that you carry out adequate investigation, but only if you're well informed and willing to lose a substantial amount of money should you do it. Remember that patience is key, but also as you read on, you'll also notice that lecturers at universities are taking an interest in blockchain technology. A few years ago this wouldn't have happened, but now everything is happening at a breakneck pace. In contrast, control is at 63.9%, which is still somewhat high but down from a few years ago. Now is the time to start afresh. If you look at Bitcoin BTC right now, you should see that it is about to hit $1.8 million. Bitcoin is on the verge of setting a new record as we welcome the new year. Look at this. There are only a few left if you want to know how near we are. We still have a 1.6% move to go before we can reach that record high, and I believe we will have some support there because it is a critical barrier. Aside from that, XRP is clearly responding positively to this Bitcoin surge, so things are looking good. Even though it isn't expanding due to Bitcoin's popularity, I believe many will be content with it. Reason being, many were not pleased with the retest of the 0.5% fib zone. The value of XRP has increased by 63% in that time. You won't believe how quickly it will happen, but there are still those who aren't happy about it, even though the price isn't likely to hit an all-time high. These days a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin, but, in my opinion, XRP will come into its own once we reach 23.6 and begin to make serious moves towards 2084. Post your comments below and tell me what you think. Please enjoy yourself, and know how much I appreciate all you've done.